So I just was thinking about this before I started recording this video, but I just wanted to share today with how, we all have our own little inner child. We all have our own little person on the inside of us that's scared, that's unsure, that's nervous, that doesn't know what's going to happen, that just wants to feel secure and taken care of and all that kind of stuff. We all have our own inner child, like I said. And with that, we all have, our physical well-being, our mental well-being, our psychological well-being, and also our emotional well-being as well. And the difference with that, though, like Deepak Chopra says, is we have our three ages. Our chronological age, which is our calendar year. Our biological age, which is our body and the age of that. And then our psychological age, which is our mental. Because I imagine that you guys watching this, people who are, 25, 35, 45, 55 years old, who still think or at the mental maturity of, let's say, a teenager or something like that. And then also, from my personal experience, I would even add one more thing to that, which is the emotional maturity and the emotional age. Now, I don't really know how yet to put that into an age or into a category, or however, just having that. And I imagine, again, you guys watching this, people who are, again, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, who react to things like they would be a little child, or and they haven't necessarily developed that emotional maturity of whatever that looks like, and they might be overreacting to a situation, or they might just really lose their patience, things like that. I talk about the senior home that I lived in, and some of those people, you would think psychologically, okay, they're 75 years old and up, so the average, I think, would be about 85, 90 years old. Some of them are as impatient as a 7-year-old, so yeah, they're just really impatient, really I want my stuff, I want it now, kind of things like that. So I would think, just age-wise, someone that old would develop that patience. They would develop that communication. They would develop that understanding in life and for other people. But that's not necessarily it. There's people there that are mid-70s that are as insecure as a 12-year-old would be just entering the world. They've never found that security. So there's another video that I would do and talking about how a quote that is an original for me, actually, is years of experience does not equal depth of knowledge. I'll say that again. Years of experience does not equal depth of knowledge. And I use that as an example of patience. You'd think the 80-year-old would be a lot more patient than the 10-year-old, but that's not necessarily always the case. And again, that's for a different video. But with this one, I think it is focusing on the inner child, and there is that little piece of us, like I said before, that is insecure, that is not sure of the world, that does just want to be held and told that it's okay, and that gets hurt and gets frustrated and gets angry and different things like that. So when you're dealing with people, that little person comes out a lot of times as well, or in different situations from their past and their experiences and things like that. So they might have a certain thing that just triggers them, and then you're not talking to the 50-year-old, you're talking to the 8-year-old that's in them. And I think a lot of times people in society don't, well, it's twofold. One, they don't recognize when they're no longer talking to the 50-year-old and talking to an 8-year-old. And then they don't even know how or what or how to then go about that. And I'm not saying that you should talk to people like condescending or down to them or anything like that, but their emotional state has changed in that moment, and so they're not going to be thinking as that adult. They're going to be thinking and reacting as that child in that adult's body for that moment. And again, then us interacting with them, a lot of people A, don't recognize that switch, and B, don't know what to do with that when it switches. So definitely it's something to learn, it's something to cultivate, it's something to start seeing, it's something to start having understanding for, and patience. Patience. Where I think if we just had a lot more patience and let people grow at their rate instead of what we think their rate should be, because everybody grows different. Every tree grows different. Every flower grows different. You don't put those labels on a flower like, oh, you're not blossoming as early as this one, or you're not growing as fast as this one. But we do with people. And if we just had more patience for each of us as individuals, I think the world would be a better place. So there's just my little spiel about inner child, just basic stuff, not getting to anything too deep yet. So hope you enjoy it. Talk to you later.